The fair is a trade show that provides a platform for linking international buyers, sellers and investors. This also allows participants and visitors to profile and share market information and investment opportunities in support of intra-African trade and the economic integration of the continent. Our colleague Simphiwe Makhanya is following that story. A very good morning to you, Simphiwe. We know we're waiting for the official opening address by the president, but any activity so far? What is happening there?
A lot of activity, Desiree. Good morning to you. Good morning to the viewers as well at home. I can certainly tell you that I've seen quite a number of high-profile individuals walking around the corridors of the Inkosi Albert Luthuli International Convention Center, where all of this is taking place, Desiree. There are quite a number of obviously business people from not just here in South Africa, but across Africa, who are showcasing various services as well as products in this particular fair that is held here in Durban. And I'm now joined by one of them. Her name is Phumzile Nkosi. You come from a museum, I believe, which is based here in Durban. Can you talk to us more about the kind of products that you sell or services that you render?
Yebo sanibonani. Njengoba seshilo ke Simphiwe, igama lami nginguPhumzile Nkosi, ngi-curator ePhansi Museum. So we're here to exhibit. We are so honored ukuthi sithole this opportunity to come and exhibit our stuff from Phansi Museum. I know a lot of people, they don't know about us, but we are there. We've been there from like year 2000, but the collection that we have, it's been collected around 1960s by Mr. Paul Mikula. Yes, we do have this beautiful collection, which is very inspiring, especially to everyone, young people, elderly people, because it's more about our culture, you see. And I always even try to encourage fashion designers to come and look at this beautiful work that has been done by people in Ngempela who have never been to school. They've never been to school. So when you look at these beautiful things, it has soul of people, because whenever they were making this, they were taking their own time, sharing the stories. When you look at the piece, the costume, it tells you a lot. This is how we're also identifying our status as well as our areas. Where do we come from? Just by the way of dressing. So at Phansi Museum, sinalento yokunxanxa kakhulu abantu bakokwethu ukuthi asiphelelwa silahlekelwe. Nazi izinto zikhona ezayisetshenziswa zenziwa noma imali ayingekho but zazenziwa. Sasiwaphuza amanzi, siwaphuza ngenkezo, amaglasi engekho. Sasiyidla impuphu, igayo etsheni, imshini ingakabikho. Konke kwakwenzeka namanje singakwenza kwenzeke.
Mamkosi, talk to us about your involvement in this fair and what you hope this will actually bring into the business that you are running.
Simphiwe, all what I can say, as I'm here, showing people at this beautiful artwork, beautiful work of people, it's to encourage those who lost hope about the culture, that, hey, it's still there. We can still live from here. Look, unfortunately, we didn't bring the doll that is wearing a costume from Lesotho. The skirt that was worn by young girls. Today, we are using those patterns, making our dresses, our skirts, the one that they call high and low. It low, I mean, it's high at the back, it's low in the front. That pattern copied from Lesotho. costume.
Obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a devastating impact on not just your business, in other businesses as well. Talk to us about how it has impacted your business.
Simphiwe, angithi a museum, in our museum there is a entrance fee, tiny entrance fee, 1. 2, it's also open to scholars, to learners to come and learn more about the culture, where we came from and where are we today. So even the children from preschool, they come and learn. And you see, when we tell them that this is Mama from Eastern Cape, because they don't see it, they learn a lot. We also share skill. We have a project where we share a skill on how to make beads, on how to make leather, on how to make clay pots. All those skills, music instruments, we share those skills to unemployed youth. So this pandemic really pressed us down, because we can't do anything.
The president will be making the official opening here later on this morning. What are you expecting him to say that will sort of, assist your businesses such as yourselves, as well as others in trying to perhaps, recover from this unfortunate loss of business due to the pandemic?
Yeah. Yazi-ke upresident wethu uma namhlanje engasitshela nje ukuthi emveni kwale pandemic he's going to help us ukuphesha la isilimale khona, ngoba izinto ziyabola, we can't pay ama-bill, ngoba le collection job ibona idinga i-maintenance, we can't pay ngoba asinamali. Uma engasisiza ukuthi uzosipha imali yokuphesha nala konakele khona, sinakalelwe imshini emaintainayo, kunakele nje okuningi, asinayo nanemali yokuqhuba lama project manje, ngoba inhloso yethu ukuvula amathuba for unemployed youth. So asikwazi ukuqhubeka nalawo ma-project, asinamali yokuwaqhuba ngoba ngesikhathi ubafundisa kuhle phela bathole ne-bus fare, kuhle phela bathole nocizi lesinkwa abaphuzi ukuze babe namandla okuqhubeka bafunde baphume bayoqala. Siyacela kakhulu uxhaso kakhulu ukuthi asixhase uhulumeni.
Sibonga kakhulu esikhathi sakho.
Ngiyabonga nami.
All right, that was Phumzile Nkosi. She comes from Phansi Museum, which is based here in Durban. I'm going to step out of the shot and ask my colleague Raymond Mpele just to give you a sense of the kind of products that are on display here this morning. It's not only obviously this, but inside the ICC hall itself, quite a number of exhibitors have gathered here to showcase their businesses, some from the automobile sector, some from the textile industry as well, just to try and showcase basically what it is that they do, and hope that they will be getting support in terms of trying to stay afloat. We had Umam Nkosi earlier on saying that she's expecting the president to again, make statements with regards to funding businesses that were adversely affected by the pandemic, saying that her business is still, up to now struggling to stay afloat as a result of the pandemic. We are expecting the president to speak at about 11 this morning, where he will be opening this trade fair, which is taking place here at the Nkosi Albert Luthuli International Convention Center in Durban. Desiree?
Simphiwe, you're saying there's a lot of activity and we can see it in the footage, and it's quite a moment considering where we've come from since 2020 and all the different lockdown levels in the country. What's the sense in Durban with all this return of people who could possibly contribute to the economy of the province?
Well, Desiree, I can certainly tell you that there's a hive of activity, just not here at the ICC itself, but around the vicinity as well. A lot of traffic, people from all walks of life really trying to make their way here to basically be part of this trade fair. A number of them, Desiree, are expected to converge. And you are talking about the issue of the, COVID-19 regulations as well as the pandemic itself. But it would seem, Desiree, that things are now beginning to go back to normal, even though obviously we are still in this situation where we find ourselves as the country as well as the world. But businesses are hoping, obviously, that things will get back to normal. And the only way that will happen, Desiree, is if more and more people get their jabs in order to open up the spaces such as businesses and your sporting facilities as well, where really, the economy depends on the attendance of people. And we're expecting, Desiree, that those who are part of this trade fair will be making those calls to various governments, not just here in South Africa, but across Africa, to say, open up the space, let's cut the red tape that exists when it comes to doing business between the African countries. Desiree.
Just speak to us on, as I said, we're watching the footage, that effort at social distancing. How are the participants engaging with that? Because this is different from the past.
Very different, Desiree, very different indeed. As you enter the premises of the ICC, Desiree, you are requested not only to have your sanitizer, but also you have to have your mask on at all times. And I suppose that's just one of the ways that the organizers of this event are trying really, to stick to the COVID-19 protocols to ensure that, such events do not ultimately become, super spreaders of the pandemic itself. I'm going to step out of the shot again and ask my colleague Raymond Mbele, Desiree, just to give you a sense of the activity that is taking place here. A lot of dignitaries have, arrived since early this morning. Many of them are still, are making their way into the premises as it is, becoming extremely difficult to actually enter the premises because of the, strict protocols that are in place in terms of ensuring that one has got his accreditation in order, and the issue as well of COVID-19 regulations. As you can see, many of those you see in your visuals, Desiree, are required to wear their mask. Yeah. Some of them not wearing them properly, obviously, but that's a story for another day. Desiree.